John, after looking over your resume, I think you'd be a perfect fit as our lead engineer.
Thank you, sir. I won't let you down.
My name is Luis. I'm here for the job interview.
Oh, Mexican. You know what, John? We're actually going to go in a different direction. Luis, you're hired as our new lead engineer.
You haven't even looked at his resume.
It's 2024. Corporate wants us to prioritize diversity in the workplace. Resumes don't matter anymore.
That's bull.
Don't be racist, John.
My name's Darnell Watkins. I'm here for the job interview.
Oh, my God. African-American, huh? Luis, we're actually going to go in another direction. Darnell, you're hired as our new lead engineer.
Hell yeah.
This is my senor.
Stop being racist, Luis.
Not. My name's Bobby Blewett. I'm here for the job interview.
Oh, my God, a transgender. Darnell, we're actually going to go in another direction. Bobby Blewett, you're hired as our new lead engineer.
Bullshit.
You sounded really transphobic, Darnell.
My name is Debbie Smalls. I'm here for the job interview.
Oh, it's a dwarf and a woman combined into one. Bobby, we're actually going to go in another direction. Debbie Smalls, you're hired as our new lead engineer.
And that's actually happening in many corporate boards all over the United States, as of course DEI stands for didn't earn it. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name is Lukadowski here of wearechange.org, and there's a lot of wild, crazy news specifically coming from the Middle East right now as the United States keeps getting more and more involved in foreign entanglements as domestically we arrest people and put them behind bars for representing populist ideas. What? Yep, you heard that correctly. As a major independent media organization is being liquidated and destroyed, with the latest developments coming from Austin, Texas, that we're going to be talking about in this particular video, as it's not all doom and gloom, as there's a chance for a lot of people standing up and actually doing the right thing. Will that happen? We'll talk about that, plus a lot more, all here on this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you can get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast was, I don't know who actually released this short skit, but it is brilliant. If you know who these people are, let us know immediately so we could attribute them and their YouTube channel down in the description below. As of course, what they just represented actually is happening all over major corporations in the United States right now, as woke diversity hiring has even impacted this immigration person of color business here, which is us, by the way. As I'm looking for trans, disabled, handicapped, dyslexic, autistic co-host, and if you're that person, apply right now by messaging us immediately. We'll love to have you. We'll give you the royal treatment, and YouTube will as well in response to this. As for some reason, they don't understand. This is an immigrants, person of color's channel. Promote us now in the algorithm. Stop unsubscribing people from our channel, YouTube. You're being very bigoted and racist against this person of color, and it's not nice. You know what else isn't nice? Government. Lots of it in people's lives that keeps shutting down small businesses that can't keep up with the rules, regulations, taxes, and now minimum wage, as there's a beloved Mexican restaurant that just had to close its doors in California, closing down 48 of their chain restaurants because the state now implemented a $20 minimum wage, as implemented by the governor there, that is making life more unbearable for law-abiding blue-collar Americans that are finding it more and more difficult to survive. The new rules that are extremely unfavorable towards the middle and lower class people in that society, as Californians are fleeing in droves to free states like Texas and Florida that don't like to trample on your individual liberty and try to control almost every aspect of your life. As the state of California taxes people more than almost any other state in the union, and as life becomes more difficult, don't worry. The U.S. federal government is involving themselves in more foreign entanglements, as CBS News is now reporting that the United States actually provided support to Israeli forces in the rescuing of 4 hostages inside of Gaza. Now, of course, it's great news that 4 hostages have been rescued, as we're getting dramatic video footage and news accounts of what actually happened here. But there still is a larger question to the larger U.S. involvement here, and what exactly are our soldiers doing there? As the Secretary of State and our National Security Advisor have been kind of very quiet about the larger United States involvement in this bigger Middle Eastern conflict that is creating more tensions inside of the Middle East. As of course, the United States not only is directly supporting arms, aid, munitions to one side, but also reportedly helping the other side, doing airdrops, creating entire seaports that have been obliterated by bad weather that cost hundreds of millions of dollars, as the national security advisor of this country didn't give much details to what exactly is going on here.
How specifically did the U.S. assist in the mission?
Well, Dana, the United States has been providing support to Israel for several months in its efforts to help identify the locations of hostages in Gaza and to support efforts to try to secure their rescue or recovery. I'm not going to get into the specific operational or intelligence-related matters associated with that because we need to protect those. I can only just say that we have generally provided support to the IDF so that we can try to get all of the hostages home.
Now, we know the United States was involved here. How exactly were they involved? Well, the United States is not really releasing that information, as there's still some lingering questions about what's kind of going on here, what role are we playing, and what are some of the larger ramifications for direct U.S. involvement in this larger conflict, as a lot of those questions still remain unanswered. This, as Congressman Thomas Macy, just recently talking to Tucker Carlson, described a situation in the House of Representatives where there are, quote, AIPAC babysitters there to ensure that the interests of this country in the Middle East are met at all times. This as European Union diplomats are coming out and describing the situation in the Middle East as a, quote, bloodbath that must end, as there's reports coming out of Gaza that hundreds of people have lost their lives through these operations recently. Numbers that, of course, are being questioned by some official sources from the other side. As, of course, we have a lot of news reports coming that the Biden administration is pressuring this country in the Middle East to stop this larger conflict. And at the same time, the United States is also aiding, assisting, and helping them in many mysterious ways that they won't clearly dictate or explain when it comes to expanding this conflict. What's really going on here? As there's even outrage against CNN because they said that the hostages were, quote, released instead of being rescued. As, of course, the propaganda war is making sure that we cannot actually have a real legitimate conversation about these issues, as the president of the United States absolutely doesn't provide us any clear insight into what's going on, as Old Yeller just recently confused Ukraine with Iraq. Yes, here's the statement from the commander-in-chief of the U.S. military, who just had this to say to news reporters.
The idea that we become semi-isolationists now, which some are talking about, I mean, the idea we had to wait all those months just to get the money for Iraq, because we were waiting, I mean, it's not who we are. It's not who America is.
Yeah, what is America? Well, it clearly isn't under the leadership of an old man who can't string together sentences or get countries right, as the geopolitical situation in the United States is ever so getting very complex. And that's one reason out of many reasons why we created the bestpoliticalshirts.com to help people see through the nonsense, the propaganda, the psyops, as of course we have a lot of shirts related to Joe Biden. You go to thebestpoliticalshirts.com, you scroll down, you type in Biden, click search, and you get all the amazing shirts that we have surrounding the current president of the United States. As of course, the level of shirts that we have are right on the nose, as of course we have this Sniffler in Chief with a nose inside of it declaring Joe Biden. We have an Inside of the Weeds one called Joe Biden, Pedo Pete, something that his son referred to him in his own official cell phone. Of course, the good old moniker Let's Go Brandon is also available on thebestpoliticalshirts.com, as well as BidenFetterman.com. Quote, it's a no-brainer, available in white and blue, and one of my favorites, with Joe Biden chucking down a pizza with U.S. soldiers looking at him in bewilderment with the tagline, at least we get a pizza party before World War III, as this one also highlights one of Biden's best moments here. as I think it's more important than ever to represent your disdain for the current social political class in a peaceful way and a way that allows you to do a lazy form of activism. If you're looking to make friends, if you're looking to find out who's on your side and who's not, if you're looking to actually spread messages that are censored on social media, you could do that in real life all through thebestpoliticalshirts.com, which goes towards supporting and growing this independent media organization. We have a lot of really incredible shirts. We have a lot of really incredible products, all available right now on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. Click the link right now in the description and pick up yourself a shirt and do your part by helping get important messages out there to the general public. We also have, of course, women's shirts, short sleeves, you name it. We got it. You just got to look right here. You want a woman's t-shirt? Click right here. You want a tank top? Click right here. You name it, we got it. All on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. As of course, your support is more crucial than ever in a very so complicated media landscape where a lot of people are being targeted because of their political ideas and expressions that the establishment doesn't like. This, as even internally, many kind of Republican media organizations are attacking and spying on each other, as recently detailed by Candace Owens, that came out during a TPUSA event and accused Ben Shapiro of spying on her, as there's also other reports of fellow Daily Wire workers being fired for showing support for Candace Owens privately, as this is what the firebrand Miss Candace Owens had to say at an event where she detailed someone sent there to spy on her.
Apparently, she got an email at 10 p.m., hopped on a plane, is pretending to be a student. And so I do just want to say to Ben Shapiro, enough. Come out into the light. Really, come on. Let's do this debate. Stop sending interns to do your dirty work. I don't bite. I'm down for the debate. Charlie Kirk says he will fly you out. He will fly you out next week to Detroit, and we can do the debates on his stage. Thank you, Turning Point USA. Let's take some questions.
This says the attack against media organizations isn't just from other right-wing organizations, but also the establishment, as CBS News is reporting that Alex Jones will now have to liquidate his assets in order to pay the family members that he was accused of defaming, and then found guilty in a court of law without a court trial proceeding of the actual case, and then fined over $1 billion in restitution to them. As this Thursday, Alex Jones took steps to liquidate his assets in order to pay for the legal damages that he is owed, to cover the $1.5 billion that he was ordered to pay. A fee that, of course, is unpayable. A fee that is absolutely ridiculous, as, of course, this has been an ongoing legal court battle for the last few years. A couple days ago, we heard Alex Jones staying in his studio saying that this is something that they were trying to do. And it looks like, according from the latest news reportings, that this is the steps that they're making, and soon will be liquidating and destroying Alex's business from within, selling it to potentially a third party, or just selling off all of the equipment, as Alex Jones's lawyers are arguing that there is no reasonable prospect of a successful reorganization, as Alex Jones is now warning about the takeover of his media empire from organizations that soon could be coming in and using it for their own purposes. This, as Alex has already detailed, how he had to sell most of his assets, his homes, his cars, his watches, his self-defense tools, and now will have to sell his company, but will be able to keep his home and other belongings that are exempt from this bankruptcy court, as Alex Jones took to another emergency broadcast this Friday and updated everyone about the bankruptcy updates that he has been going through, as a lot of people are pointing out some of the clear hypocrisies in this entire case, as police departments that literally protected horrible monsters that were taking the lives of small children in Texas were fined $2 million, failing to, of course, act as the lives of children were being taken, as Alex Jones is forced to pay $1.5 billion over saying things that were wrong about an incident similar to it. It doesn't really make sense. As, of course, a lot of people are being punished, specifically those individuals representing the larger populist kind of agenda within the Trump administration, as Steve Bannon was just ordered to report to prison on July 1st for contempt of Congress charges, as he was refusing to testify to Congress, which he was found guilty of. He tried to, of course, appeal those charges. He's going to try to appeal this one, as a federal judge in Washington, D.C. ordered Trump's major political ally to jail in just a few days from now, where he will serve out his 4-month prison sentence after doing something that many pundits and political individuals have done themselves and were never really held accountable for, of course, doing. As, of course, being in contempt of Congress charges for refusing to comply with a subpoena from the House Select Committee regarding the events of J6 highlights clearly politically motivated hit jobs that, of course, selectively choose what kind of fines, punishments are going to be retroactively pushed on people because of their political thoughts and expressions. This, as Steve Bannon is also going through a second court proceeding in Manhattan, as Newsweek reports that Alvin Braggs may deal even more of a severe blow to Steve Bannon. This, as it's becoming more and more clear to everyone that these are politically motivated hit jobs with a new form of legal lawfare, that Steve Bannon is actually warning that they should be, quote, worried about conducting.
We mock your fear. We want you to fear. It's going to be accountability. We are taking apart the administrative state. We're going to destroy the deep state, and we're going to hold everybody responsible that put this republic in the situation it's in today. Accountability, responsibility. And that will come with authority. The authority of Donald John Trump as the 47th president of the United States.
This, as today, we're also finding out that Trump's prosecutor, Fani Willis, got donations from an ex-city attorney that was just convicted of a $15 million fraud, as, of course, the system is corrupt, and there's a lot of illegal actions and moves being made here that retroactively sometimes get unpunished, depending on the political perspectives of those individuals, as Donald Trump is, of course, promising to bring a lot of justice to this system that clearly is largely politically motivated here, as the Mirror today is reporting, as he took to Truth Social to call for a retrial because of Facebook posts that were actually made highlighting how he was going to be convicted the day before the verdict was handed down, as a juror on his case literally was bragging that Trump was going to be convicted the day before he was. As, of course, a juror kind of boasting and bragging that Trump's going to go down doesn't really show that this wasn't politically motivated. It shows the opposite of that, as clearly the people celebrating this, the people bragging about this, are doing this for political power rather than actually abiding by any kind of legal justice structure. As, of course, the Facebook post wrote that, quote, "My cousin is a juror and says Trump is getting convicted. Quote, thank you, folks, for all your hard work." Celebrating this post, as now Trump's faith is in the judge that will be sentencing him on July 11th. As a lot of people are expecting a lot of legal lawfare in response to the Democrats when Donald Trump becomes potentially the next president of the United States, if they allow him to do so, as we are involved in a full-on political lawfare legal battle for the future of this country that probably will be reciprocated by the other side. Of course, dangerously swinging the pendulum with a response that a lot of people who are swinging it in the first place are desperately afraid of. And my response to them is, stop swinging it in the first place. As, of course, the situation domestically in the United States is not all right, and it's probably going to get a lot crazier in the lead up to this presidential election. Anyway, that's my own 2 cents on it. What do you think will happen next? Let me know down in the comment section below. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys getting the shirts, supporting this independent media organization. We're going to have some incredible live shows this upcoming week, Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. We got a major headliner coming in, and those shows will be going on about 4 or 6 p.m. Eastern. Subscribe, click the notification button here, as of course I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys, and that's why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on youtube.com/wearechange.